Hello, it is Kim. I'm one of their hosts here at I call it TNL, the Terra Nova Lyceum. I'm going to be doing the reading for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's the 8th, 9th, and 10th of December. And I always like sort of do my little hand wave into the Sunday because the energies sort of merge and mingle. And then there's, of course, another reading on Monday, usually by Galva. This Monday was me. Um, so to start with, just get in with it, right? I'm using the Rumi Oracle deck. Usually I use it as just like one card, not all three, because it is quite long. So I'm going to do the abridged version, but it was just calling. And sometimes you have to, you have to obey that call, right? So I did already pull the cards. They're here. And what's interesting is that you can read it as just like overall energy. This is what is going to happen, right now. This is what's going on. Or you can also parse it out by day. And I'm going to give it to you by day. Um, but I do want you to realize and understand that these do bleed into each other because they are similar and sort of related. Interconnected maybe is a better word. Probably interconnected. Okay. So for Thursday, this is number 42, Dance of the Divine Feminine. Okay. And I want to, this is not necessarily females. Okay. This is like energy. Okay. If a tree could move from one place to another, it would not suffer the pain of the saw or the oppressive wounds. If the sun and the moon stood like the rocks, it could not offer brilliance. How bitter the taste of water would be if the river stopped its flow, remaining still like seawater. When the seawater rises to become a cloud, it loses its bitterness and pours the rain of sweetness. Next stage of the I have given you only a few examples. You can figure out the rest. Break away from the self and enter the kingdom of love. Rumi. I love me some Rumi. Um, I've been told though that it's not translated completely accurately from those that truly do speak the language, and that it's much more religious than it is like as in terms of like romantic love. So also bear that in mind because I didn't know that. I always thought it was like with lovers. It's not necessarily, okay? There's always that caveat with poets that they do multiple things on multiple levels. But like it could be very much a religious spiritual. It doesn't have to be anytime it's like, oh, beloved. It doesn't necessarily mean, like my beloved. It could just mean, friendship or kinship or something of that nature. How can your feet bear be still when the music is so lush and inviting? How can you hold yourself back from the tide of love when the horizon looms so vast and exciting? How can you not arc your back and respond with ecstasy to a lover's touch, saying in absolute submission, yes, more. You were made to move and grow, to love and flow. Even mountains change. Surrender the stodgy ways of the mind and becoming willing to the dance to the great orchestrations of love. Again, love has multiple levels. And this of course is sort of referencing erotic love, but it does not have to be. I cannot emphasize that enough. This begins with, you may feel unsettled, beloved, as though the ground beneath you is not so solid. You may touch it to see. Is it moving? Of course. It's hurtling through the skies, spinning, tilted on its axis. It's amazing you aren't passed out on the floor in utter dizziness. Yet you stand there, imagining you have a choice of not moving. What funny foolishness. Let us laugh about it together. Now that paragraph continues, but I don't think it adds much. So this is the guidance that this particular gives. This oracle comes to you with this guidance. Your life may feel as though it is being tipped upside down. Perhaps you feel as though the great beloved is in a feisty mood, has grabbed your ankle and is holding you upside down and shaking you wildly until your skirt is over your head or the pockets of your pants become freed of their contents, keys and wallet, dropping to the floor in disarray. Your hair is messy, your bottom is in the air, and your sense of orientation is nowhere to be found. Blood is rushing to your head, and goodness knows you just want to get down to have a moment to come to your senses. So, they'll give you the gift, but don't imagine it'll last too long. The great beloved esteems you capable of so much more than being sure-footed and sensible. You are capable of more whirling and stumbling, whilst inspired by the music of the spheres. If you accept the great invitation to dance, there won't be so much roof housing going on. It won't be needed because your hair will already be in a mess, your blood will already be in your head, and you'll be sweating, laughing, smiling, and dancing. The great beloved will be alive in you, which is all the grand seducer ever wanted in the first place, even with the jokes and horseplay. And it does continue, pretty much with the idea of dancing and whirling all the way down. It says, there is something you're holding on to, a person, a place, a thing, belief, a vision, and you need to let it go because it wants to grow. It may grow and change into something utterly different, or may grow into exactly what you are imagining. Okay, so Kim's version, right? I gotta have a little bit of Kim's version. I don't see it necessarily as feminine. Um, like I understand that it's like divine feminine, but like I don't necessarily get that energy. I get water energy, maybe, or something of that nature, emotions, but that is true on yin and yang, and also the way we talk about feminine and masculine. There's emotion. So if it's tipsy and turvy, I think it has more to do with feeling of identity and a feeling of stability. And like if we are dancing, which we are, um, then are we asking for stability? And like that's what this is trying to ask. I think I'm using different words. So if you want stability, you want to stand still. And I think the card for Thursday is saying, don't stand still. Be willing to dance. If you're asked to dance, dance. And now, it doesn't mean that you have to uproot your life. And it also doesn't mean that your life won't be uprooted. But there's something very cosmic, isn't there, in these colors of swirling? And we can swirl a little bit. We are whirling, like it says, on the earth. So we can give ourselves that. I'm not saying stand on your head, and I'm not saying any of that cartwheeling. It's a little cold to cartwheel. I've never been able to do it very well myself. But if you feel called to, that's also not saying don't do it. It is about, I think, how comfortable you are. Not necessarily with the feminine, but with the idea of upheaval. No one likes upheaval. No one likes change. And when it says we're asked to give up a belief, a dream, or whatever it is that they're trying to say, I think it just means not to like give up hope or give up any of that, but to give up expectations. Just allow ourselves. It says surrender twice in there, and yet it wasn't emphasized. But isn't that what we're always being told? Okay? So I think we're being asked to dance and surrender and let the other partner lead. And a line dance, watch somebody do the dance first and then line dance. I like mine. I do like mine better. All right. So this one, I have to keep it straight because, in my head, I'm like, woo. All right. This is for Friday. All right. That would be the 9th. It's the all-encompassing hand. And it's really difficult to see, but there is a feminine form there. And it is like clouds and specters over it. And it's supposed to be, I think, a hand, but it's probably I don't want to say modern art. I don't know. I'm not an artist. It's more abstract, perhaps you could say, than just like a hand. It's more like an energetic pull of a hand. Okay, there you go. Right? That's how you do it. You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand? Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath, I feel my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I'm exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand. Rumi. Now, again, very romantic translation. And that doesn't mean that it's not a correct translation, but I think that there is a metaphysical, spiritual sort of love also being described. Just with thorns and roses, it doesn't have to be like just romantic. There's a lot of layers. And I keep saying that because I mean, like, there's a lot of people that are in asexual relationships or are asexual, or, and it doesn't have to be romantic to be necessary. And within ourselves, if it's dealing with our own personal energies, it doesn't necessarily have to be the erotic, romance. I can be the thorn in my own, palm, and be my own strength. And that is not necessarily the same type of romance, even though it has the language that is romantic. Don't you love that English major crap? You're right. I have held your hand in mine for so long that I have long since ceased to distinguish where your sacred flesh once felt separate from mine. This sacred grasp pulses with love divine, and there is one hand holding and held. One being loving and loved, though we may appear by less ecstatic angels to be two. The love that gives us this handfast beloved is so powerful we could spin the entire universe upon its axis, and still our hands would be joined in gently and yet enduringly in an unfailing love and sublime friendship. So I get out of that lots of obviously romantic imagery, but also very much interconnectedness. The idea of holding hands, of never being separated, one hand being somebody else's hand. I also get the idea of twin flames, which I've been studying and listening to a lot because I was twin flame on the twin flame journey. So it's interesting that we are one is like the big theme. I'm going to read just a bit of the first part. Perhaps you are in need of reassurance, dearest one. Perhaps you have been feeling somewhat alone on your path or struggling with a matter deep within your precious, beautiful heart and speaking of it to no one. Such loneliness that can foster in the heart. With no other to bear witness to your life experience, you may question your life, your sanity, your truth, and create doubt where no doubt need be. This must stop now. You are worthy of so much more, and the suffering is not essential for your growth now. It's time to let it be and open up to the touch of grace. Do not turn away. Do not let old shame, guilt, or mistaken notions of false independence keep you from accepting this heavenly hand. It reaches to wipe away the tears of the past. It says a particular message. There may be a situation or circumstance in your life that may feel and somehow unable to be solved. This oracle comes with a reassurance. There's nothing beyond the reach of divine hand of grace. All can be solved. All can be resolved. There's always a higher, better, and more beautiful outcome. Okay. So, always a higher, more beautiful, powerful outcome. And if you're really considering hands, which I've always found is like one of the most beautiful, right? Things to write about, I'm gonna put this down if I don't lose my, the webbing, and like there's favorite passages in like some of my stories that I've read that, they talk about how like luscious the hand is and the delicate webbing, and like, yes, it's meant to be erotic, but it's also, yes, it's meant to be like we are connected. So you can be connected as like a romantic connection. You can be connected just as yourself, fully capable and compatible and ready to go. So, with this, if we are transforming our dream somehow, letting it be and surrendering it, this is where it gets grasped and taken, and we are taken with it. So, it's not like it's taken from us. It's not being like there's no loss, but we're sort of being carried with it and transformed at the same time. I know, but that's what I'm going with. Okay, now this one I think I do have to read almost in full, and I know it will be just a little bit long, but this is the Star Mother Arrakis, and this would be for Saturday. And I am very much distinguishing these days because I think that it is important for someone. The Star Mother Arrakis. Be the king who has made his own kingdom. Be the moon that has made her own summit. How much longer will you cuckoo like a pigeon? Empty your head of all mortal lusts and become life without breath. You will not call out for God anymore, for you have become immersed in God. Rumi. Your star mother Arrakis dances with your soul on the celestial inner planes. She dances in the embrace of Father Sky, shining white and pale, deep in devotion with the light beyond all that is. Arrakis, dancing star of the heavens, incites our souls to feel the rhythm of life and surrender to its flow in grace and in play. Like a child who thinks not of the right steps, but just moves with the music and with joy, she reminds you to dance freely and from your heart. She reminds you that your soul is constantly dancing with the divine. What better way to connect with the joy and beauty of your soul than in mimicking the movements? So dance, beloved, let your being dance. Oh, Arrakis, your bright beauty penetrates even the darkest of minds to remember, remember, remember. She calls out, her voice is music to our hearts. You are a child of heaven. You are born of such regal stuff, dear dancing child of the stars. When you suffer, I send you my comfort as stars falling from the sky. When you triumph, my dance becomes wild, and light erupts from my heart in all directions. The light becomes music, stirring within you with an urge and almost inexplicable and yet so deep and real, to make music, to create art, to dance, to play, to be one with the joyful creative energy that dwells within you, beloved. Just a little bit more, and then we'll get into Kim. All right, the Star Mother keeps an eye on all the wild games happening in the sacred playground of the earth. She will care for you. Righteous and true, shining divine justice and protection. No bully shall prevail over you. No bully from within you shall prevail either. No lies, deceit, or injustice shall temper your wild truth. Be demanding and claiming her love for you. Learn how to love yourself as she loves you, with wild, unconditional, passionate regard. Be like the child wailing for its mother, ma, 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 come close. And then it says she descends. And it talks about her choreographed movements, just so you know. And then it's a little bit of poetic, and then it gets to, so here's your guidance. Lay down your old weapons, for new technology awaits you. It is the most magnificent of forces, that of the divine enlightenment, of surrender to the Star Mother and her way of luminous potency. From our great vantage point, the vastest problems of our earthly mindsets are merely in a need of quick whipping by the tail of a comet, and this she easily achieves by flicking a strand of her hair or poking out her tongue. In the hands of the greater being, you or your deepest trials will succumb to divine victory. Your ability to take the journey will be strengthened, and your success only a matter of passing of time. Can you give yourself this gift, this blessing of love, power, and protection of your star heritage? We all descend from the stars, but some of us are asked to remember and acknowledge the divine parentage from which we came and to allow the innate divine dignity within to restore the faith and path here on earth. And it continues because it is the Rumi oracle that goes on for like millions of words. So what does this really like in like hymn speak? It's talking about dancing again, right? So we have this like cosmic dance. So we're sort of bookended, right? In energies, this is less upheaval. It's more being already surrendered, right? Like so this is the surrender in the dance. So you're being led to dance, right? You have a partner, you sort of looking, kind of nervous. You go, oh, I have this dream, I have this wish. You sort of put it out there to the universe and go, okay, there you go. And then you get this one. It's like, okay, we got you. We have your hand. We're gonna hold your hand all the way through. Probably taking your hand to dance. And then, sorry, and then then it's like the blessing, right? This is like when we learn the dance, or we don't care if we learn the dance. We just dance. We just create. We just do our science, or we just give in and write what we've been like thinking about and putting off. Or same thing with art, like how you just put stuff off, and like I have this dream, and it doesn't have to be achievement. It's not like I win this award, right? I want to do this thing. Oh, there's groceries, and oh, I don't know quite how to do it. And I know that my best books, my best work, ruminate. So it ruminates. I think about it, and then I do sort of drop it. I sort of go, okay, well, I think it's gonna be like this, and then I start, with the pen a little bit. Okay, well, this would be like poem one. All right. So then that's part of the story, and then like the hand gets taken. Oh, here's a book. Oh, this is research, and then you sort of do research, and you sort of forget about what you're actually writing, and then suddenly you you give in and dance, and I am writing, and like 12 hours go by without me knowing it, and I have a book. I mean, like that is sort of what it is saying. It is sort of like let go and then allow yourself to create. That would be like my simple message of non-romantic love. Now, talking about romantic love, I pulled one of the soul connections when two hearts meet love oracle cards. Why? I don't know why. Again, it's in the bin, okay? So it was necessary. All right, it's obstacles. Now, again, friendships, yourself, whatever you are considering in terms of relationships. Like you can have a relationship with yourself and be like, my head does not like my blah 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 blah. In our talk. Okay, so obstacles. Look for ways around the obstacles to find happiness. I think that is a great way of ending, and it doesn't have to be, like I said, romantic, but like obstacles, there's obstacles. It's hard to give things up. It's hard to let things go and not like get rid of them, not have loss, but to release and hope for the best. And there is a loss of power and control, and I'm a control freak. And basically, this was just like a whole reading of like, stop being controlling, let your life go. It'll just happen. We'll take your hand. So, I mean, like, so even simpler of the whole thing is your obstacle is yourself. Stop, being the obstacle and just release and let like life happen. And you'll be able to dance and you'll do it. So that is my happy, probably very, very long. I haven't looked at the timestamp, sorry. Reading. So I wish you well. Have a wonderful week. Peace out, peeps. All right, take care. Bye.